All right, 9:30 on a Thursday can mean only one thing, and that's BlueSync. So welcome to everyone for joining us. We may have a few new faces with us today because we did invite all of our staff to the call because this is available to everybody that is employed at the Schmidt family of companies. And I see Michelle is on, our Director of HR, so thanks, Michelle, for joining us as well. And Laura is joining us from Ulliance, which is the company that we associate with for our employee assistant program. So Laura, I see your presentation is ready to go, so I'll give you the floor. Thank you so much. Oh, you are muted though.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone today. As mentioned, we will be talking about your Life Advisor Employee Assistance Program through Ulliance. So I'll have some details today about the different things that we offer, not only to employees, but also to household members. So live-in partners, spouses, or dependent family members as well. All right. So some of the common benefits of an EAP, so things that we find a lot of folks are reaching out about, align to what we call kind of work-life goals, or sometimes people talk about like a work-life balance or maybe work-life integration. So some of those things that we often see are people looking to relieve stress. Stress is certainly part of our human experience, but when we find that maybe it gets to be too much, or we're looking for some new skills or ways to navigate that or decrease that, we can certainly assist with that. Oftentimes people are looking to improve relationships. So that can be relationships kind of in our traditional sense, like a romantic relationship, but it could also be family relationships, or maybe you're having some challenges within a friendship, things like that. We can assist in teaching you some new skills or kind of talking through what might be going on that you are looking to improve. Sometimes people are looking to make a major life decision, right? At different points in our life, we might be looking to buy a house. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that one. Or perhaps looking to retire soon, things like that. We can provide assistance in a variety of ways for that. I'll talk some more about that in detail here on our subsequent slides. We also provide a legal and financial benefit. Again, I'll talk some more detail about that coming up, but we can help you to navigate or address any of the legal or financial concerns you might encounter. And we also provide some options if you're looking for care for a loved one. That could be for perhaps an aging parent, or maybe you're looking for some childcare, right? With summer coming up, I know myself with 2 kiddos, I'm definitely looking for some options, whether it be some camps or some sitters, things like that. So we'll talk more about that moving on here, but these are just some examples of the things that people often reach out to us regarding. As I mentioned, this is family coverage, so it's going to cover you all as the employees, live-in spouses, partners, and dependents through the age of 26. You guys are automatically enrolled. There wasn't anything special that you needed to do to be able to access the services. What you would do if you did want to get any of the services I talk about today set up is you call the 800 number, which I'll share several times here moving forward. And then, provide some basic information. We'll talk to you about what you're looking for and then go on from there. With the family coverage piece, sometimes people wonder if my spouse or partner wants to use the services and they reach out, am I going to be notified, or do I need to be involved in that process? And no, you don't need to be involved in that at all. You might want to let them know that we provide the service, but of course it's confidential. So unless they share that with you or you wanted to share that with them, they would not know that anyone had reached out to us. This is going to be independent from other benefits, so there aren't things like deductibles to meet, anything like that. We're kind of a standalone there, so no need to worry about cross-referencing or checking any of those things. I talked about the 800 number on the last slide, but any of the things I talk about are going to be accessed through this 800-448-8326 number. I encourage people to save that in their phone if they have a second to do that now. That way, when you need it, or perhaps someone you work with or a family member needs it, you have it at the ready to send to them, or perhaps reach out to us. When you call, as I said, you're going to speak with one of our consultants on our intake team. They're going to ask you some demographic questions, get more information about what you're looking for, and then get you connected to those resources based on what the needs are. We are also available 24/7 for crisis support. I'll talk a little bit more about this here moving on, but basically what this means is if you are someone who's eligible for services is experiencing what we consider kind of an emotional crisis, maybe they're really struggling with something, they're inconsolable at work or whatever it might be, we do have mental health professionals available 24/7, 365 for them to speak with over the phone. We provide a lot of different types of support, information and resources. There is a wide variety of things that people might call us about. And so we definitely have a wide variety of resources and ways to support and help you navigate a need or an issue that you are encountering. I mentioned this earlier, but it is completely confidential. So not only is the counseling piece, which I'll talk a little bit more about soon, confidential, that's covered under HIPAA. But even if you reached out looking for childcare, or you reached out with a financial or legal concern, that is kept confidential as well. We don't report back to your employer, to your HR, who has reached out to us, or what, who reached out about what. We are very careful and cognizant of making sure that we maintain confidentiality in any of our reporting or any of the communication that we might provide back to your employer. All right, so this is kind of the high level big capture of the different things that we do. So counseling, coaching, crisis intervention, community resources, those financial and legal services. We offer ID theft monitoring, work-life materials, and we have our well-being portal. I'll talk about each of those things here on the next slides. So we offer short-term solution-focused counseling. This is available for individuals, couples, and families. We offer those sessions in person, by phone, or by video. Again, that is confidential. We do not disclose any protected health information related to counseling. We always make sure to be very mindful of that. What you would do with the counseling piece when you reach out, they will get information as far as what the presenting concerns are, and then they'll get you connected with one of our providers in our network that's going to be a good fit for what your concerns are. As we said, those services can be in person, so the traditional going to the office to meet with somebody. Not everyone has a couch. People sometimes ask about that because we often think of someone sitting on the couch talking to a counselor. Just a little joke there. But we also have services by phone or by video. Some providers might provide a couple of different formats, and if that's something you'd be interested in, just let the intake consultant know when you reach out. So coaching is a little bit different from counseling. This is going to be really goal specific. It's kind of the here and now of what you might need assistance with. Counseling tends to, yes, address the here and now, but also kind of more of the history or different contributing factors to what might be going on. But coaching is going to be an identified goal. So an example of this might be looking at time management for work, or maybe time management at home. And so you talk about kind of what that would look like if you felt that it was going better, and then identifying some objectives in order to reach that goal. What I like about the coaching option is that it provides accountability, also that motivation and support piece, right? You've got somebody who's rooting for you, who's going to provide some guidance, but also somebody who's going to be checking in with you to make sure that things are staying on track, and to help should things kind of go sideways at any point, to help you get back on track with that goal. The crisis intervention, as I had said, is for an emotional crisis. You'll speak to a behavioral or mental health expert immediately. Again, that is available 24/7, 365, and by calling that same 800 number. With the community services, we have a wide database of different types of support groups, again, with those child care resources or elder care resources. If someone were to be experiencing domestic violence, we can assist in getting them connected to the appropriate resources as well. So just nice to be able to reach out and know that we would be connecting you with reliable and vetted resources based on what you might need. All right, now we're moving into the financial legal consultation services support area. The financial consultations are when you be connecting with a financial professional. There's a free 30-minute consultation to start. This gives you an opportunity to see if you feel that this person will be a good fit for what you're looking for. You're certainly not obligated to continue with someone if you don't feel it's a good fit. If you do want to continue and need additional support beyond that 30-minute call, we do offer those services on a 15% discount. So I often joke that, if you're looking to figure out what to do with your money, it's nice to be able to save a little bit of money in that process. So definitely a great resource to have, both with that 30-minute consultation at no cost and then getting that discount if you move forward from there. Some of the common things that people contact us about include debt management, budgeting, and some financial education. Oftentimes, these are things that people may not have ever really been given much guidance on, or they have questions about. Maybe they feel a little bit self-conscious asking friends or family about that. This gives you an option to connect with somebody who's going to have those answers. They're going to be a professional, and they're, going to help you get on the right footing moving forward. The legal consultations, again, offer a 30-minute consultation at no cost. Beyond that, if you continue to use those services, they're at a 25% discount on the hourly rate, which is great. Legal support, working with an attorney can be expensive at times, so it's definitely nice to be able to save a little bit of money in that process. Again, some of the common things that we help people with are document reviews, simple dispute resolutions, or a simple will, a dispute resolution for an example, and for whatever reason this is more common, and maybe you guys encounter this in your work, but things like fences on property lines, over the line, things like that, that would be an example of a simple dispute, working through the legal process related to something like that. We partner with a company known as IDIQ to offer their bronze plan of identity theft monitoring, at no cost. When I started at Ulliance, signed up for this because I wanted to know what people would be experiencing. I didn't want to, give my recommendation if I didn't know exactly what it entailed. And I've had a really great experience with it. One of the things that I really like about this company is that once a month they send me an email just to assure me that things are okay. Somebody like me who kind of wonders about that stuff, having that reminder each month that, everything is checking out okay, your information isn't landing in the wrong hands, that kind of stuff is helpful for me. They do reach out very quickly if something does show up as a red flag. So I share the example that when I had moved, I had updated my address with the Postal Service. And they reached out to me to make sure that that was something that I had actually done, because that apparently can be a means of identity theft, or is a concerning thing to have happen if it's something you did not want to do or didn't initiate that process. You can get connected to IDIQ or sign up for the Bronze Plan at lifeadvisor.com, which is our portal. You log in there and then scroll down under the EAP resources, and you'll see there's like a little section with a brief description there. You just click on that and they'll get you connected to there. This is what I refer to as kind of the hidden gem of EAP services through Ulliance. This is a discount program through Working Advantage. There's no fee, no cost to participate in the program. It's kind of like joining a Sam's Club or Costco, but you're not paying that annual fee to get access to those discounts on things that you might be looking for. Things like theme park admissions. I know I am going to Disney in May. Not sure if that's the best idea because it's probably going to be really hot, but either way, I was looking the other day to see kind of what deals they offered, and they were definitely offering some better prices than other areas or other sites that I found online as far as those park admissions and different things like that, and really a wide variety of options with that. Pretty much what I could find anywhere else as far as like those park hopper passes and, you know, those different options you might have, they were available through Working Advantage as well. They do tend to update these seasonally. So as we head toward the holiday season in winter, which I know seems forever away, but I'm sure it will be here before we know it, they offer discounts on gifts and things like that. But a really great resource, like I said, there's no charge to participate, but you could certainly save some money on things that you might be doing or looking for anyways. I've talked about our well-being portal a couple of times today. Again, that is at lifeadvisor.com. When you first go to that page, if you have not already created a login, you'll see that it prompts you to put in the name of your organization or business. So you'll put Schmidt Family. You probably put Schmidt there. We try to get all of the different options that would work for your group. And then city. So we also have the list of cities where you guys have offices. So from there, you put that in. It will then take you to another screen that almost looks identical to the first one and prompt you to put that information in again. I just like to give people a heads up to that it isn't malfunctioning. That's a firewall thing that we have set up for security purposes. So it will prompt you to log in twice. From there, you can, and I always encourage people to create their own login. You can use a personal email address for that. You could use your work email address if you wanted to, totally up to you. We are, again, not reporting back to anybody who has created a profile or what they're looking at, nothing like that. It's just an opportunity for you then to have kind of a digital filing cabinet within our portal so you could save articles. There's different like skill builders, things like that. It just gives you a place to kind of organize that information as you participate in different things. There are tons of topics out there. We have a library of information. Oftentimes people are looking for that information about stress, right? How to manage that, how to deal with that differently or better. We have work-life balance, parenting. I know that there's a lot of great information about different stages of parenting, right? Based on how old your kiddos are, what they might be going through, or what you might be going through as a parent. So just a ton of great information out there. What I think is really great about this is that we know we have quality information out there. You're not just Googling, which is fine, but who knows where you might end up with that, right? It could be, who knows, who's contributing or who's decided to put their opinion out there. We know that we've got good information. We're very responsible and careful with what we put out there. So we know that these things are going to be worth your time to look up and learn more about. We also, through the portal, have a well-being portion of that. If you are on the portal at the top, you'll see the different sections. And so this is going to be under the wellness or well-being area. There are different wellness challenges that are run at times. Some of those are, kind of independently run, and you can see those when you log in. We have a 5 to Thrive campaign, which looks at wellness in 5 different areas and gives you little components to each of those areas to reach kind of a full circle of wellness. So one of the things is financial wellness. And so there are different little tasks or action items to give you a good idea of what financial wellness looks like and different things you can do to kind of improve your financial wellness. There are ways of doing different tracking for your health. So there's a whole wide range of things that are available out there. that you can kind of keep record of if you're interested in that, but also some of those self-assessments just to kind of see where you land as far as health in different areas. All right, so this will be kind of the summary as it says here. Again, I always emphasize that confidentiality piece. Want to remind you that this is for you all as employees, but also for spouse and dependents. When you call in, you'll be connected with one of our consultants, and you will want to remember to call that same 800 number that's listed again here. So if you missed it the first couple of times, you might want to take a second now to save that, or write it down on a Post-it if that works better for you, but just making sure that you have that ready to go should you need it. And then again, here's our 800 number in a larger font this time. And if you're like me, and it's sometimes hard to see when it's a little bit smaller. So give us a call if any of the things that I have talked about today are even of interest to you and you'd just like to get some more information. You can reach out with questions or to talk to somebody, talk through those different benefits that are available. I'm always happy to help with questions. If it's not something that we necessarily do, we will certainly help to figure out who does and get you moving in the right direction. We have a really great team of people who are always ready to help guide someone or information to them. All right. So I am going to stop sharing and give an opportunity for questions.
Great. Laura, we just had one in the chat. What is our company name? I believe that should be SFOC.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. If it's not SFOC, it's Schmidt. We do have a how-to guide that Jessica created for us in our ASC drive. So if you guys have access to the ASC drive, feel free to head there and get that job aid. If you are on the call and not an ASC and you need that, just reach out and we'll get that over to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, or Michelle, anything to add?
No, I was actually going to bring up the job aids for both the Ulliance well-being and for the Working Advantage. They're both on there. Jessica and I created those a couple years ago, but I don't think there's any changes. If you run into anything, just reach out and we'll work through it.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute or type them in the chat box. We've had really good feedback from employees that they shared. Again, very confidential, as Laura pointed out. But we have had good feedback from those staff members that wanted to share with us. So we highly encourage, if you have any, check it out. We do get reports of usage, and that's it. No names, no nothing. So it does allow us to know if this is beneficial to our staff, because it is important to have this as an offering. So again, if you've not been there, highly encourage to check it out. If you're hitting up any concerts or festivals or trips this summer, those discounts can come in handy as well. So please be sure to go there if you've not been there to check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone is busy. I think all of us could say that we're busy with different things in life. Let us take some of those things off your plate, right? We have a lot of resources available. We can save you some time and energy by helping with those things. So give us a call. That's what we're there for, and we're happy to help.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for your time today, and thanks Laura for joining us. Bye now.
Yes. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Thank